Welcome back to Momentous Struggle, a Star Wars Shatterpoint podcast. On this week's episode, we are going to talk about, well, Aubrey told me he was wrong about Kiadi Mundi, so that's what we're going to talk about, is Aubrey being wrong about Kiadi Mundi.
I'm still not wrong about the younglings, but whatever.
Yeah, very true. But yeah, so we'll go ahead. We're going to talk about that, maybe some games that we played, since Aubrey actually got out and played some games for a change. So we'll go ahead and jump on into it. Aubrey, how are you doing today?
You know what? This has been a swingy roller coaster of a week, but I'm doing pretty good today. Doing pretty good. I got to the end of the week. It was a little bit of tension at work over some changes that are being made, but overall, good week. Good week. How about you?
I am a federal employee. Since this is a public
Do you
forum,
need to
I'm not going to say much.
Yeah, no.
And I will leave it at that. It's been a week.
As I've said repeatedly, everyone, Todd works for the federal government and everything that means.
Yep. Yeah. So no, I mean, other than that, but like that. But you know what? It's the weekend. I got in some games over the week. And you know, I'm happy about that. Shatterpoint has been a good distraction for that, and I think I think everyone needs a positive distraction in their life, and I'm glad Shatterpoint is that for me, and I hope that is something for other people as well. So I utilize that. So no, I mean, it's other than that. I mean, like I said, I got a game in with Liam this week, and then of course last week I played at Matt Booker ran an event over at Gamers Guild in Tempe. So you know, I've gotten a chance to get a couple games in. And now I'm preparing for the guys over at Smite Club Open are running a charity event for a school next weekend. So I'm getting ready to kind of run something that it's going to be. It's funny. I think like at least four of the guys that are local. No, all five of the local players that are going to Adepticon are going to be playing in that event. So it's basically like an Adepticon prep. So I mean, you're going to have that one's going to be wild because we're going to have Booker, the purest of Christophers, Nick Rader is going to be there, Holden and Sheev are all going to be there prepping. Oh, and Liam. So all six of them, I should say, all six. So also and Liam are all going to be there getting ready for Adepticon, which is it's pretty wild when you think about it. Between our crew that's going for stream and the players, we're gonna have a double digit presence at Adepticon just for Shatterpoint alone. I'm like, that's pretty wild when you think about like the amount of players that we have coming out for that. So especially from Arizona, because we're coming from the other side of the country.
But Todd, I saw a Reddit post that says that Shatterpoint is dead. No one buys it and no one plays it ever.
Right. We're just going to happen to have like what 90 plus players at the World Championships this year for the game that's only a year and a half old. But whatever, cool. Like
Right, it sold out like the day of, right?
right, and then they
Come
expanded
on.
tickets. So okay, yeah,
Yeah, oh yeah,
whatever.
that's right. And then they added more tickets. But
Right.
yeah. It's Reddit. Reddit knows everything.
It's another
You know what
social
I think
media.
of?
Yeah.
No. Reddit to me is like the National Enquirer of social media. Like occasionally do they get it right? Probably. Do I immediately research and verify anything I see on Reddit? Also true.
To be fair, you should do that on any social media, though. I mean, no matter
Well,
what.
but some of them at least tell me when the post is lying. Like
Right.
I'm just like there is a difference. But yeah, I know you're right. Oh my yeah, talking about not to go too deep. I started Reign of the Empire, which is the it's like a prequel to Andor kind of, because it's about Mon Mothma and Bail
Mm-hmm.
essentially starting
The rebellion.
resistance against the
Mm-hmm.
yeah. And so like it's set like a month after Revenge of the Sith. Like it's pretty dark stuff. And uh all I gotta say is what they're describing is happening in the Star Wars universe during that time period feels an awful lot like having to explain to family members that the news item they just saw was based on a website that was made satirically to poke fun at someone and isn't actual news, or having to explain that Snopes already shot down that thing that you saw on your favorite news platform before they even stopped speaking.
Yeah, sometimes fiction mirrors reality. That is a very true statement. But yeah, no, I mean, so
But
but
yeah.
overall, I'm glad that, like I said, to circle back, I'm glad we have Shatterpoint. I'm glad we have a distraction from the things that we need to be distracted from, I guess, for lack of a better way of putting it. But yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited. So I know you had a chance to get some games in for a while. Like, did you want to talk about any of those?
Oh yeah. Okay. So, those of you who know him as Jerry Bowinkle, you know, one of our regulars over in the Momentous Struggle Discord, he and I actually finally got a game in. We have tried like 2 or 3 times to like schedule a game, but he's way far on the east side of the valley, and I'm of course pretty far west. Like, I mean, I'm further west than you, so
Mm-hmm.
uh, we finally got a game in, and oh man, I gotta say, I know you played against it too, but he has constructed this like spy synergy list of and like I almost wish he was here to talk about it because it's his own thing and it plays very well. Uh, it's the Leia box with Moff Gideon, Lobot, and ISB agents to like maximize the spy tag, but also there's like some scoundrelly stuff going on with Lobot there because Lobot has like his 5 dice attack you can use on like Han and Chewie and stuff, and oh, our game literally came down to both struggle trackers, or both sides of the struggle tracker were nearly full, and literally whoever like if I didn't score a point or whatever like that turn, he was just gonna win on the spot. So like technically I won, but like we were having a friendly game, so like there was a few times where we were like discussing like positioning and like, well, do you really want to go here or if you went like further up? So it was kind of a longer game because we were just kind of hanging out. We were over at prime time and there was like somebody came over. Oh, talk about a blast from the past. We started talking about the because we were talking about Heir to the Empire. We were talking about the early '90s West End publishing RPG, Star Wars RPG that got published in the primordial past.
Mm-hmm.
That book is what Timothy Zahn used for his writing because Lucasfilm didn't have any references to like the size of spaceships or what spaceships were available or what planet had this population on it. And so one of the players that was playing D&D came over. He just started talking to us about that book and I was like, "Huh, I actually know what you're talking about." So but anyway, to go back to the game, it was it was a really fun game and Todd, you might have to chime in here and talk about your game because I have a feeling somebody might be a Lobot believer now. Hmm.
I wouldn't say a
Hmm.
Lobot believer. I will say, I what I would say is that Jared has taken Lobot and really learned how to maximize him, and that's what I think that's a big part of like the game in general is figuring out ways to maximize the characters that you want to play, and he has definitely done that. He utilized Lobot extremely well, extremely well. He was able to really the battlefield calculations, being able to get that free focus on his characters. I mean, Leia got that free focus probably like every time she moved. He with when with because he would get her within Lobot with the battlefield calculations. That was gigantic. The lockdown. You were saying in your games with him, the lockdown ability came into play. Not so much with me, but like getting a free focus with Leia, and she has sharpshooter too. It's like, okay, I just move her here and now I get to roll 3 extra dice. That was gigantic. um I don't know if people are going to give Lobot a lot of play, but like I would say, I think if you put the work in that he definitely has put in, yes, Lobot's going to be good. Am I a Lobot stan now? No, I'm not. But he did great.
Ah.
But Jared
Ah.
really played well with that. I mean, it was I don't know now knowing like the the more nuance of Lobot. I think it would be interesting to play another game into him, just to sit there and be like, okay, how do you? I think you really kind of have to with his list anyway, you need to find ways to displace Lobot so he's not having him in that position to fully take advantage of like the things that he was taking advantage of. Because Lobot was just, I kind of ignored Lobot in our game, which was like definitely a mistake because basically Lobot could just stay right where he was, and it's like, okay, I'm just going to bounce over here. Oh, I'm within two now. I get this free focus. I mean, even if it's, even if they didn't have sharpshooter or like the ISB have impact one, it's like, okay, they still get a free focus. Like you just have to end within two and you get a free dice. It's like, okay. So
Yeah, yeah. So we were playing on. I'm pretty sure we were playing on Never Tell Me the Odds. Which I'm kind of surprised. They were talking over on Rogue Support about like nobody wants to play on Never Tell Me the Odds, and I feel like every time I do a pickup game, because I don't care, I'll play on any mission. Uh, Everybody asks me to play on Never Tell Me, so I don't know, whatever. But anyway, we're playing on Never Tell Me, and so Lobot parked himself on Jared's, the objective that's right next to the center, but it's not the center objective. I don't
yeah.
know how to
Mhm.
describe like the close.
I know what
He
you're talking about.
parked him right there, and
Mhm.
oh man, it was annoying uh because I was able to displace him, but he was still like fairly far up. Like I shoved him back, but of course he was already really high up because he was on or high forward.
Mhm.
And oh yeah, no, that he was doing all of the same things you were describing, and like lockdown came into play a couple of times. And now it was a good game. It was a good game. It was 2 weeks ago, so I'm short on details, but all I could say is there was definitely a couple of places where like I could have just lost on the spot, and then maybe dice had punched a little harder. Like basically my point is I technically won this game, but it could have gone either way. And I was playing I was playing like my usual Kanan I think I was
Mhm.
playing with Clan Kreese and Sabine, but I was playing like Leia, Kanan, like the usual fare. I think I had Ezra and Sabine, and then Rebel Commandos, and yeah, I was playing with Clan Kreese. So, just to say the other half of it, like, um, yeah.
No, I mean, like I said, yeah, he definitely played a great game. It was funny. Our game that I played with him, because I played at like Matt's event, I had to buy in one round. It was just a 3 round event. Both of my games I lost in three struggles, but it was crazy. The both struggle threes at the end of turn or at the end because I lost struggle one struggle two, then they had struggle they started struggle three. Both times they were able to have all 3 points and score 4 points right off the bat on both of my games. I'm just like, cool. That's that. It's like, I mean,
Oh,
I can try and crawl
oh,
back out of this, but nope, not gonna happen. So it was, but I had fun. I mean, I got to play against Jared, and I haven't played against him for Shatterpoint. I played other games against him, but I haven't played Shatterpoint. And then I also got to play. I think it was I was playing Nick. So basically, like, but yeah, it's interesting. I mean, but like going back to your pickup games, you were saying like, you always play on Never Tell Me. Part of that I think has to do with like the amount of like competitive players that we have, like people that are willing to travel to Adepticon. They're going to want to play on some of the more,
ah,
some of the more complex matchups and everything like that, because it is, you listen to any podcast out there and they'll say, you need to be prepared to play on odds. So of course, if you're going to play pickup games, I think that's where everyone's going to be like kind of focused on getting games in, is on odds.
that's fair. I didn't think of that. And I had the opposite experience down at Mr. E's. So I finally was able to paint them enough to where I was happy to bring them out, because you all are infecting me with your can't put gray models on the table nonsense. Uh, and so I finally played Oops All Mandos down there, and I went 1 and 2, but but it was so much fun that I don't even care, because so like my games where I played against, oh dang it, I'm sorry, I know your name. Anyway, there's a local down there that he's been in the game for a while, but he must work a lot, or I mean, I know he's got kids too, so like he's just really busy, because like he brought out Republic, and he pretty much always plays Republic. He was playing Anakin Hunter, right?
Mhm.
Thank you.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
wasn't there. You were
Yeah,
there.
Anakin. No, I'm accessing the files. Like this is like the 90s, like the you've got mail. It's the scratchy sound as it's connecting to the rest of my brain. Anyway, so we were having kind of like a friendly back and forth because like he was always remembering like his hunter trigger. So I'm like, wait, you got to move hunter, and then like I missed a Mando trigger. So but we were moving kind of slow because when I say the man's busy, he worked like a 12-hour graveyard shift, and instead of going to bed, came to the shop to play. So you could tell he was pretty fried, but he still managed to beat me. So like it was again, it was like a really close game, but it was one of those situations where um yeah, the flop just did not favor me. And then the opposite thing happened. I played against Matt Booker. Ooh, he was playing CAD Shock T Grief Karga like Bounty Hunter. I'm trying to remember what his other primary was right now. Why do we do this in the morning when my brain doesn't work? Anyway, he was showing off the power of Shock T and Cad Bane.
So
So
he's playing
that was.
Cad. It looks like he was playing Cad Bane with Leia.
Oh yeah, that's right.
You're welcome.
Okay, okay.
Longshanks is a good thing. And your first game, it goes against somebody. Their Longshanks is swing, swing. That's all I can say.
Yeah, I know.
I, I feel like that's
Anyway.
I feel like that's a reference to what was that old Mike Myers movie? Swing. Never mind. I'm showing my age.
Uh,
It was a Saturday Night
wait,
Live
you
skit.
don't.
Wayne's
Oh,
World.
whoa,
Wayne's World.
we're going way back. Wayne's World. Oh man, I was a baby when that was
I know.
running
Like I said,
around.
I'm showing
Okay,
my age.
yeah. Uh, let's see. Where was I? Oh, this was a masterclass in staying cool under pressure because I'm not gonna lie, I eked out a very early like I got 4 points in struggle one, and I will just like maintained this lead against Matt. And I don't want to say like handily won struggle one, but I had such an advantage, and he just wasn't able to get it back. And then he proceeded to kick my teeth in on struggles 2 and 3, and we were on shifting. So like the odds of him winning struggle 3 traditionally are kind of low. Nope, Matt just stayed calm and steady and just he pushed advantage by advantage. And then like I still was doing okay in struggle 3. He scored 4 points like twice, and I was still like not out of it. And nope, he just kept inching it away from me. So that was it's always nice to play against Matt. But oh man. And then my last opponent I played was a new younger player. There was a family there, so the dad actually he didn't play because he wanted both his kids to be able to play, because we only the shop's small. There's only room for 8 players. Like we couldn't even
Mhm.
like we can't go to 10. Like that's 9 or 10 just doesn't work. Um, and so I was playing against his older kiddo who was playing. Let's see, he wasn't playing
He
Mandos.
was
He
playing
was.
Iden and he was playing
Oh, that's right. Oh, Empire.
yep.
What was his
Iden
other
was
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 evade?
CT9904, the
Oh,
crosshair
that's right.
primary.
Yeah, so Firebrand was ruining my day left, right, and center. I kept having to like jump up and move. I mean, I did end up winning. I didn't end up winning this one, but was doing I didn't things, and I was like, I don't know, but I was able to draw past Vizsla early enough that I was able to like keep up with Iden's aggression. So like it was cool. My thing is okay, I know I'm late to the party, everybody, but I'm loving Mandos. Oh, the amount of jumping, like I got to show that kid how far Bo can move if you just do nothing but move her, because you have like the focus move and her advance and then the jetpack move. I moved her from one of my back points to his back point, and he went, okay. So that was fun. But you want to know who went 3-0 and kicked everybody's teeth in?
Who's that?
The other the other kid, he's like itty bitty, like he had to have only been like 10 years old maybe, and he was playing Oops All Mandos too. He and I kept trading, we kept talking about our games the whole time because we were the only ones with Mandos there. Well, I mean there's only 8 players, but like we were doing like, oh yeah, this is the way. And so like later Hutchbag was he was like, well, this just shows that you can do well with Mandos. And I'm like, yeah, no, somebody can do well. How about the 10-year-old who just started playing versus the guy who's been doing this for a year and a half? But whatever, whatever. I My point is, Mandos was so much fun that I didn't even care that I went 1-2. Like I was just
Mhm.
having a blast the whole time running around with those jetpacks.
That's awesome though. I'm glad, like, that, I mean, like I said, that's, I think that's kind of where we are, kind of circle back to like one of my first comments was like, we really need to find the joy in things, and as long as you're finding joy in playing this game and this that does that for you, man, that's all that matters in my opinion.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, so, and I know, I like the other game I played against Liam this week. Just he wanted to test into Iden. I didn't give him. I feel like I the problem with like the game I played with him is wanted to play the way that people say you should play Iden and not the way that I play Iden. And I think I was trying to sit there and play. I mean, and I play Iden, similar to like the way, but I think I was in my head like trying to give him like as good of a game as possible, that I was like overthinking things that I was doing. Um because he's trying to get ready for Adepticon. So I like wanted to give him the best game possible. And it turned out it was a good game overall, but I feel like it's like I feel like I didn't give him as the everything he needed in order for preparation purposes. So something I'm going to work on to like try and give him a better game next time, type of a thing. But he ended up playing Chiadi Mundi, and that kind of brought me to wanting to talk about Chiadi. Um, because I think like we haven't really touched on that box yet. And I know I was listening to last week's episode for Rogue Support, and Diz had said in his hot take for that, like that, you like people are sleeping on Kiati, to paraphrase, and that the people aren't prepared for him. And I'm like, and after playing against Kiati last night, I'm like, yeah, that's very true. I think that's something that people need to be prepared for, especially since we're in March, we're getting ready to go to Adepticon. That's the newest release that we have. Going into Adepticon, I think that's something that we probably need to think, like people that are going there to play this, like need to be prepared for what Kiati Mundi actually brings to the table, because it is a unique kit. I don't know. What do you think, man?
Hang on. Before we, because this is kind of our main topic. By the way, dear listeners, we just kind of decided we were going to talk about our recent games and kind of have a hangout episode. So there's not really a main topic, but this is as close as we're going to get. But hang on, I wanna circle back to what you said before we dive into the cam talk. And also, didn't we do like a whole episode? I distinctly recall whining about the Padawans. I thought,
You did.
I mean,
You
no,
did.
they're not Padawans; they're younglings. So we did talk
Yes,
about it. We're just
we did.
before it came out. Anyway, well, as we famously say, always content creators can say whatever they want about things that they have not touched at all, and then we have to wait and see how it actually
Mhm.
plays. Disclaimer over. But hang on, what were you say? How do you usually play Iden that's differently from like the pew pew shoot shoot death death
I
move
play
move?
them that way, but I think people like, I'm not as aggressive on the movement with like some of the pieces. I play a little farther back. A lot of people move like are, especially if you get Iden like on your turn one, you're just pushing forward. I don't. I mean, I do push forward, yes, but I was pushing farther forward than I needed to. I was putting pieces out of place. Um, in my opinion, I was moving pieces out of place that I shouldn't have. I moved Iden into a position that I was like, well, like, is this where someone that this isn't where I would necessarily move her, but maybe this is where like someone else would have. So I was making plays that I think were like not, in my mind, weren't the optimal play, but it was like, well, I think other people do this, so I'm going to go ahead and try and do it. So I was like, I was just pushing farther. I was pushing farther forward than I normally do, I think, was probably the biggest thing to say.
Oh, okay. So you were just being less conservative in your movement. Okay. I was trying to
Yeah.
figure out if you had figured out like some way of like turning Iden into a control piece, and I was like, wait,
Oh
what?
no, 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 no. More than anything, it was just I was like, I was not playing. I play. I play her a little. I'm a little more cagey, I think, than some people are with her. So it's like for me, it was one of those where I was like, I did not. I feel like I mispositioned Iden based off of how I normally play Iden in retrospect, type of a thing. So it's like I'd like to go back and play it again, play him again, like and maybe be a little more not fall into that trap that I fell into before, type of a thing.
Okay, okay. That's fair. All right. I wanted to stop before we moved on because I was like, wait, that sounded interesting. So all right. So Chiari Mundi. So I have the box. It's sitting right
Mhm.
over there, mainly because I still really want another 3 point character for the Galactic Republic. Please. They still needed one more, and I feel like despite their wimpy nature, the Padawans do fit that bill. But I have no experience. Like the most I've played against Shock T because I played the one game against Matt where he was playing Shock T and it had nothing to do with Kiari Mundi.
Mm.
So break it down for us. What was your experience with Cam?
So there's two things with him that really make him kind of really an interesting piece. I mean, his force push is good. Yeah, I mean, but we knew force push was good. I mean, there's nothing
Yeah.
abnormal about that. Force push was really good. The force enhanced reflexes is pretty gross. I mean, because it's basically it like it's it's deflect, but it's super deflect because basically it's like it's it doesn't matter what kind of an attack it is, whether it's ranged or melee. If there's a fail, it does 3 damage, which makes him really kind of difficult to attack into because 3 damage on a character. I mean, if a secondary attacks somebody and only does like I only go 2 or 3 down my tree. Okay, I'll do 4 damage. Okay, now you have 4 damage on you, and oh, by the way, he can deflect that 3 damage to sit there and wound your character. It's like it changes like your decisions, and I think that's interesting what he can do with that.
Okay, yeah, no, that makes sense. I mean, it is. I will say it has it has always kind of bugged me that the best way to deal with a Jedi in this game is to get into melee, and then they're weaker in melee, but then you're like, they they fight with swords. They should be good in melee. Like wait, and then sometimes it's the opposite. Sometimes even with deflect, they're like, whatever, I'm Iden. I don't care if you deflect me. I'm gonna pew pew you down. And you're like, wait, so now the Jedi are getting gunned down and it's good against them in melee. Like I get Order 66. That was everybody. That was an ambush. Like the reason they all got shot is because their backs were turned to the people shooting them. Like,
Right,
do we do we remember? Like even was it like Mundi? I think even like took out a couple of the
he
uh
did
like a
the
couple of
clones.
like
Yeah,
he managed to turn around and deflect a few shots back before they took him out. Like come on. Okay.
right.
So I do like this ability a lot better. Like I kind of wish I almost wish, like, and again, I'm not a game designer. I don't know if this is good or bad or if this would wreck the game, but I feel like all the Jedi should have this. I feel like actually the Jedi and the Sith, frankly, like forget riposte and deflect. I get like why thematically why those make sense. I'm not complain. This is not me complaining about the Galactic Republic tag on Vader. I understand, but I almost wish they all had like a version. Maybe not all force enhanced reflexes because you're saying this is pretty dirty, but like I feel like it should just be when they get attacked, like send 2 damage back, and then Kiati can keep his super special one or whatever. But I don't know. AMG, I'll let you cook. You do this way more than I do.
Yeah, see, you should have been on the episode with Plumber so you could sit there and give him all your ideas. I'm sure he would have loved it.
No, he'd be sitting there going, "Kid, I've been game designing since you were in diapers. What?
To be
Stop
to
stop
be
playing with these
fair,
numbers."
To be fair, he did ask if you were joining us. I think he would have enjoyed having you on. I would say that, but no. So to
Everybody wants me to do the interviews, Todd. I'm like, you ask a question. You're not really, dear listeners, are you really there to listen to Todd ask questions? Or are you there to hear the cool stuff that the people we bring are on? Because, like, I could sit there and stare at them the whole time while they're talking to Todd.
some people do want you to lovingly stare at them, Aubrey. You do have that loving gaze on you. Yes, there you go. That's beautiful.
Okay.
So so one of the things though that the next part of like why forced enhanced reflexes is really good is because of the Guardians of the Republic ability that he has. And this one right here is what when a Galactic Republic character oh no, not that part. The second part is what I'm talking about. Additionally, once per turn, when an allied Jedi unit uses a active or reactive ability that is within range 3 of a wounded allied unit, the cost is reduced by a force. So if you have a wounded unit within 3 of Kiadi Mundi, his enhanced force enhanced reflex is free. It doesn't cost a
I
force anymore.
I mean, if so uncivilized was free all the time, that would be pretty cool on like General Kenobi. Like that's
That's what
another
I'm
one I'm
saying. It's like
thinking
it's
of. So
and you know who gets wounded really easy that are Jedi's? Your younglings,
the
Aubrey.
younglings.
Yes, running the younglings up the board and putting them in a place where they get the crap kicked in, and now they're wounded. Now they're
I'm
wounded.
sorry. All right. So I take it that this came up often in your game, or at least enough that you wanted to talk about it.
Yeah, I mean, because like the game, the strategy. I don't know if this was a strategy he intentionally utilized, but he had like Padawan Ahsoka, and he had the younglings, and he was able to move them forward and make them juicy targets, especially into Iden. So I mean, I took the first struggle, but then late game, he's able to use all of his active reactive abilities for either like that would cost one for free because of having all of the Padawans and Ahsoka all like in a position to where they were within 3 of all of his primaries. Like, and he was because he was playing Kiadi and Anakin. So like Anakin being able to use a force ability for free or discounted was great. I mean, force push all of a sudden now costs 1 because he's within 3 of a wounded unit.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. All right.
so
Yeah.
so
That's fair. That's fair.
I think that's something that like we kind of overlooked in the kit when we did our first run through with this was that how powerful guardian that second part of Guardians of the Republic is. And I think that's something I'm sorry, Liam, that I'm giving kind of your tech away, I guess, with this because but like it's something that I wanted to talk about was that um it's just so good and it's like something people have to prepare for. I mean, granted, is it going to push people into playing Galactic Republic going forward? I don't know. I don't know if this is that tipping point to make them that piece or that unit that they really want to run now going forward, or the tag that they're focusing on. But I definitely think it's worth like exploring, especially like we're what 3 weeks away from Adepticon at this point in time. It's definitely worth something that I think players are going to have to be ready for.
We're 3 weeks away from Adepticon, Todd.
I know.
Sorry, everybody. I'm having a moment there. Oh boy. Whew.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yes, Aubrey.
Yes.
I know.
Yes. You.
I've been preparing. I don't know about you, but I've been preparing for this.
I mean, I've been preparing in the sense that our travel plans are finalized, and I know that it's happening soon. But 3 weeks is really close.
Yes, Aubrey. Yes, it
Anyway, yeah.
is.
No. Um. I'm just trying to think. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it makes sense, and uh, so the general thought that I'm getting at is, I think that maybe we got to take a page, and I know I'm always talking about Magic, but we got to take a page out of Magic's book because anytime you get a cost reduction in a game, and you can break the parity of, well, you have this many resources and I have this many resources and we should be about even throughout the game. Anytime you can break that in your favor,
Mhm.
it's really good. I mean, the Mandalorians don't have anything insane in their kit unless you count some of the Mandalorians, like Clanatu and his repositions and stuff. I mean, that's a little unique, but the rest of their kit is just, jump focus attack. Is not a whole lot. But I noticed throughout my second and third struggles, I'm usually feeling the crunch, like Ezra's been wounded, or Sabine's been wounded, or Rebel Commandos have been wounded, and now you're like, do I want to pay 2 force for a dash and a focus, or a or just a jump, or insert ability here? And I think what I liked about playing Mandos is I was like, oh, everything costs exactly what it costed at the beginning of the game. Yay! This is great. Like there was one time, oh right, because I almost forgot. In that first game, we actually went to time and it ended up being wounds. I remember because I had to use Paz Vizsla's ability and I actually ran out of force. But later on in the tournament, I was ending, like, going to my refresh, and you only get 5 force with Mandos, and I still had like 2 force
Yeah.
because I never had to double dip and pay 2 for a jetpack or 2 for Clan of Two, because I had a game where both Armor and Mando got wounded, like in
Really?
one game. It was weird, but again, I never had to pay the upcharge. So sorry, that was a really long statement to say, yes, you're right. Cost reduction is so powerful that we probably should have weighed it a little higher when we were talking about it, because now that I'm on the other side of my Mando game, I'm like, oh yeah, when you don't have to pick and choose your abilities and you can use everything,
Mhm.
that's better.
Yeah. I mean, like, so, like Ahsoka, like, for example, one of the things, like, she is fearless ability. She gets to use that twice, right? Well, you use it once, you jump into range of a wounded unit. Now you get to use it for free, and now she's moved twice without actually spending any of her actions. She's done 2 jumps, and now she says, "Oh, I can focus and attack, or I can move and attack." I mean, like, it's and she still only spent 1 force to sit there and do 2 jumps. The getting ahead of yourself sniffs. Let's say, for example, she's wounded. Well, now she can use her you're getting ahead of yourself snips ability as a Galactic Republic supporting unit makes an attack. Okay, now she can sit there and jump and make a 5 dice attack, and she doesn't have to pay anything for it. I mean, there's just so much you can do with this if you're playing the positioning game correctly. Like, I mean, and that's just like going through some of the other stuff. I mean, look at Barasafi. Now she force pushes for 1, or she force speeds for free. I mean, there's so much you can do that, like, makes, like, if you're, again, you have to focus on your positioning and everything like that. But if you're playing your positioning game right, which I think that's a big part of what you're supposed to be doing with Galactic Republic, is positioning properly. If you're doing that, like, you're really, like, Kayati Windy just really kind of turns on a lot of different things. I can see you, like, staring off into space here, Aubrey. Are you wanting to come back to Gar now?
This is what happens every time AMG releases a Galactic Republic box. They get me to want to play Galactic Republic again, because I was just thinking, dear listeners, for those of you who aren't watching this on YouTube, my mouth was hanging open for quite a while as the gear, and then I stared off into space, because I'm thinking, like, Anakin's, I'm gonna end this
Yeah.
paying only 1 force for a full extra attack, and if you play like the cam box as is, and, like, I don't know, Anakin snips and arfs or whatever, you
Mhm.
suddenly have access to, like, that's 8 force, right? Yeah, 8, because
Mhm.
1 from Shock T, so
Yes.
that's 8 force and everything's cheaper.
I don't think you even need that extra force, to be honest, because I believe the what he was playing was Anakin with, um it was Anakin Snips, Padawans, Kiadi, Barris, and like Commandos or something like that. I know it was Commandos. I think it
Okay.
was almost Barris. So like, I mean, if it wasn't Barris, it was somebody else in there. Might have been Rex, but either way, like it went. I mean, he never was hurting for force. Never during the time. I mean, again, because of how he was positioning. I mean, and he used "I'm going to end this." It's killing. I think he killed. I want to say Moff Gideon with it. Like he with his "I'm going to end this for one." Like so, it was just it's very very powerful, and I think we're overlooking it. It's like I would say we overlooked it when we were playing. The Padawans, like I said, like you were saying before, yeah, they're not good, but under Kiadi Mundi, they serve the purpose of just being a wounded unit. Now, keep in mind, his ability says wounded, not injured. So you have to keep them wounded. So that was something that, like, I think at least I went looking on the forums to
Interesting.
see if there was and re-looked at the rules book and everything like that, and there is a distinction between wounded and injured. So I think that is something
Yeah.
to keep in mind if you're playing them, is like you almost want to just move like your the Padawans forward, let them get their teeth kicked in, and then just leave them there, and don't activate them again. Just let them be wounded, sad little younglings that are like, but they're giving free force because they're wounded and stuff. I mean, that I think that's on par for like Anakin though. The devastated, wounded little younglings next to him are giving him power.
Wow. Wow. I don't know if I'm ever going to be able to roll up to a table with the Padawans under Anakin's care. I'm
But
just
they're
saying.
doing exactly what you want them to do under his care. They're getting beat the crap out of so that they're making him better. Like wounded little children make Anakin better.
I mean, there is a Legends comic story where there's like a siege of Jabim, and like it ends up like Obi-Wan gets trapped, like pinned down by a droid army like on the other side of the planet, or I don't know where. I don't know where Obi-Wan went. Obi-Wan wasn't there. All of the Jedi Knights and Masters get slaughtered by not Grievous but the other Dirge. Dirge. I don't think he's in canon, but
He's
there's
not in
this other
canon
character
anymore.
that's kind of like Grievous. And so like Anakin essentially rounds up the rest of the Padawans and like tries to lead them, because I mean he's the chosen one, and like, but they get picked off bit by bit and he just keeps getting angrier and angrier. So I mean there's kind of a precedent for this scenario. No, I am not leaving children under Anakin's care. They going on the other squad. I can't do it. I
I'm
can't
telling
do
you,
it.
it's the best way to do it. It's the best way to do it. That is really how you make this efficient. Is like you just get beat up children around Anakin. I feel bad because I
Oh
just
man,
watched
I
a documentary about Ruby Frankie too. It's like like that's just talking about bad children. I thought maybe that's why that's in my mind, because I just watched that documentary. Don't watch that. It's really disturbing. That woman. I hope she rots in prison for the rest of her life. Anyway, go back to
I,
Shatterpoint.
I don't even know. Wait, you
You
know what?
don't
I
want to
don't want to
watch.
know. I don't
You
know.
don't
I don't
want
know
to
what you're
know,
talking about, and I don't think I
and you
want to know.
don't want
Is
to.
this like the orphanage in Skyrim where like she's torturing the children, and like
Basically, yes.
he puts a hit out, like he asks the Dark Brotherhood to kill the orphanage lady. Anyway, sorry, the nerds here.
Yep.
Uh Okay. I mean, yeah. No, I'm picking up what you're putting down. I mean, I will admit I did pick up the Kiati box for this reason, because I was hearing the early reports and seeing everything, and and I do like the lore. I do like the lore reasons. I don't know if you saw it because it just happened this morning, like a couple hours ago. But there, I guess one of the Australian guys, or at least it was in their Discord. I shouldn't say like maybe not everybody. Obviously, I'm in their Discord and I'm not from Australia. But they were talking about they played the longest learn to play game of their entire life. That it took like 5 hours or something insane. Not because the guy wasn't under the other person. I don't know gender or whatever, but the other person just kept asking lore questions for why the abilities work. For example, like why can Captain Rex order Anakin to move? I thought Anakin was in charge of the 501st and like just like asking the most infuriating questions. And apparently this happened for literal hours during the learn to play thing. And to
That's
the point
fantastic.
where the guy that was teaching him was like, it's because the card says he can. But he kept trying to give him real reasons. And we're over here like, why can Anakin take care of younglings? Because it's funny.
I mean, that's true though. I mean, it is. There is no real reason. There's no lore reason why we want to put younglings with Anakin. Well, no, I take that back. If you look at Brotherhood, there was that one Padawan that was with him, and he was really good with her. I can't remember her name, and I really wish that they did something more with her character because her character was awesome. Anyway, see, you got me squirreling now, Aubrey. You are a bad influence on me. It's horrible.
Yeah, there we go. Join us. Join us on the squirrely side of the force.
But overall, I think like I mean the this looking at Kiadi Mundi, he does bring a really cool aspect to Galactic Republic, and I think you do have to be more Jedi focused. But you have three now Jedi secondaries that you can put in um, with why am I forgetting Shakti, with Barris, with Ahsoka. You have at least one secondary or one supporting unit that is Jedi. I would assume that down the road we'll probably see more at some point in time.
Temple
Uh,
guards, give me
yeah.
some temple guards. It's the best support because
So I
nobody knows their identities and
Yep. So I think we have some places where we can see that, but I mean you can put at least five Jedi units on the table to really take full advantage of that second part of his ability of his innate ability there. So I don't know, man. What do you, or what you've been having all these gears turning through this entire conversation. Where's your thoughts at?
well, I mean, I know it's hard because Mace Windu, you kind of have to take clones with Mace Windu, but I'm also kind of curious to see if, well, but his ability just cares about a wounded allied unit. So, I mean, does Mace Windu? I'm trying to remember. It's been a while since I put him on the table. Does he even have? Oh, like tempered aggression because there's that forum post. So, I mean, he's not. Yeah, never mind. I don't think Mace Windu is who you want to pair.
No,
Nah,
I don't.
never
I
mind.
don't
Now that I'm
think
looking
so.
at his abilities,
Yeah, no, I
but
don't think
the
Mace is
other
where you
one
want to go.
isn't Obi-Wan Clone Wars yeah, yeah, so secondary, not General Kenobi. Secondary
Mm,
Obi-Wan is
yep.
also so getting a discount on Mind Trick. That seems pretty nasty. I think I heard somebody else talk about that. Well, not an original idea, but like that's another one. Like he is a Jedi Force user even if he isn't Galactic Republic. So I mean just options. I think you have enough options so you don't have to bring Obi-Wan, but just more stuff to think about in your kit.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, and it's like it was nice with his list that he had. He had a lot of deflect, because he was like I said, he had Ahsoka in there. He has Kiadi that has his own deflect. Um, then I believe I want to say Anakin has that too. I haven't played Anakin in forever. Yeah, Anakin has deflect as well. So he had a lot of deflect on like in there as well. So that was really it was his list that he was planning on going into the Iden matchup with just because of all of that.
Oh no, Todd. You know who probably would be good to try with Kiati? Darth Vader. Give them extra dice. They take damage. Who cares if they get wounded because they
But I don't
you
think he's a
get to.
Jedi, so I
Well,
don't
no,
know.
he's not a jet. I was just thinking if you want to get your characters wounded, that's a that's a quick fire way to do it. That takes some damage, smash hard, and then oh no, they fell down. So I don't know. I don't know if it's good. We're getting out in the weeds now. I'm thinking about every conceivable combination because you got me thinking about it now.
Yeah, I don't think that is probably the way to go. I mean, but yeah, even looking past Adepticon, when the next box comes out, when you have like the Kit Fisto box coming out, because then you have Nadar as another Jedi secondary that's out there as well. Now you have there's 4 different Jedi secondaries at that point in time that are able to be played. So I mean, there's a lot here. I mean, it's like I said, I'm really looking forward to when we get the other guys, if we ever get another secondary Jedi. But I don't think that really matters as much. I think it's really being able to take full advantage of the Jedi and the Jedi kits with your secondaries and your primaries. So I don't know, man. I think there's going to be some fun stuff. I mean, looking at just in a quick thought here. I mean, what would you how would you build around Kiadi then? I mean, what primary do you think would be best on like to pair with him in that ability?
I actually think that it would be Anakin because
Mm-hmm.
like I think about Obi-Wan. Like Obi-Wan cares about hunkers, but Obi-Wan I feel pairs better with like more clone troopers. Like I feel like his strategy and his identity pairs better like with maximum clone, well maybe not maximum clones, but like a mix of Jedi and clones. Whereas Kiadi, it's pretty much you're going to want to run his box in some configuration even if it's split amongst your two squads like you were talking about, and then you want another Jedi primary, or at least something along those lines. Like I still kind of want to try Vader just for the sake of trying Vader, but no. Oh, you know what would be interesting? Plo Koon, because Plo Koon's kind of
Mm-hmm.
expensive and he cares about but he cares about Padawans, right? There's another one I haven't visited his character in a minute. But with Plo
Not
Koon getting
Padawans. It's
discounts,
what is it? Let me pull up his card.
yeah,
It's
I'm
I want to I
trying to
want
find
to,
his card here.
but I don't. I'm almost positive it's not the. Um, it's not. It's. I want to say. Yeah, you're right. It is Padawans. It's troopers and Padawans.
Yeah, so I mean that could even be interesting because because he's got a force push too, and like doing like a one force push multiple times, like that could be really interesting. And like his identity kind of moves, like kind of reward it, I mean not exactly, but it kind of rewards you for moving your Padawans up, them getting beat on, then Plo Koon and Kiadi come in and take take care of them. So I like I don't know. I still think Anakin is probably the best choice because this is feeling very aggressive, right? Like you're
Mhm.
moving your Padawans up, you're moving your secondaries up. Yeah, no, I like it. I think I
It's
like
a
Shakti more than Barris just because of Force Repulse, but that's just me.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, like it is aggressive in the sense that I think you're moving forward more, but you're not really attacking as much. You're still letting your people get attacked. I mean, that was one of the things I noticed about. Um, he was positioning in a point where it's like, man, that's a juicy target for them to go for all of Iden and the and all and her box to just go and shoot at. And it was basically like I was just fueling him by causing the wounds that I caused and everything. So I don't know, man. I think it's I like I said, I wanted to talk about it because we are so close to Adepticon. It is something that like and also when they had mentioned it, when Dizzard had mentioned it on Rogue Support during their open that they had on last week's episode, it was like it is something that I think is going to be seen, and I think that like as people get ready for it, you get ready for Adepticon. This is going to be something that this is probably going to pop up. I mean, among other things. I mean, that everything else that's out there, we're pretty familiar with what it is. There's nothing. Everyone's had the chance to sit there and give all of the boxes that came out before Christmas a run. I mean, there's nothing else that has come out, so this is it. I mean, we're not going to see anything else. We've seen spoilers, and that's like, but that's it. I mean, the Ahsoka Vader 3 box is going to be available at Adepticon, but you're not going to be able to play it. You're not going to be able to build and play it. It won't be legal for that. So I don't know. But that's kind of like where I was at. Do you have any closing thoughts for this one?
Well, one, what back at you? What list would you be interested in playing with? I mean, I feel like I kind of just copied Liam, but whatever.
No, I mean,
I
looking
would have put
through it,
ARFs. I just like ARFs. That's all.
yeah. And for me, I think honestly, if you were to sit there and go with the Kiadi box, and because him and I were talking in great detail about this, like trying to figure out what the best was. But if you were to take, like, say, the Kiadi box, if you were just making this squad, but Kiadi box with Anakin, Padawan Ahsoka, and the ARFs, I think is probably your best bet. I mean, if you're looking at just making a standard showdown type of a squad to go with, because then you're still getting, at that point in time, you have 4 Jedi that are all able to take advantage of. ARFs melt pretty easy because people want to sit there and get them taken care of as quickly as possible because of the fact that they put that exposed. They want people to get their that exposed taxed as soon as possible. So they are juicy targets to sit there and get wounded. And the Padawans, like I said, they get kicked in pretty good, pretty fast. So I think that's probably the best way to go. If you were to try and run this box, I think that would be the best pairing to go with them to really take full advantage of what Kiadi Mundi's doing for you.
Yeah. And then my only question is what mission did you guys play on?
We played on shifting priorities because he really wanted to test into like the worst possible scenario. And to be fair, I got struggle one really fast, but then at that point in time, he had wounded characters in places that they were giving the discounts to everybody that was around me, and it was just like, okay, deflect for free, like deflect for free, deflect for free. It was like, it was just really gross.
Eh.
It was, Ahsoka does this move and she goes and does her 5 dice attack, and then it was very good. I mean, it's like the idea of that. I mean, it's like you have to selectively think about what is the ramifications of wounding characters when you're playing against Kiadi Mundi, for sure.
Yeah, no, I like it. I do think I don't know if you want to play like a full like 4 squad Galactic Republic, like if you're gonna do Premiere, because I just wonder if how this list fares on Never Tell Me. So maybe in Premiere you want to bring something else that's like your Never Tell Me matchup. Because I just wonder. I have no data or experience to back this up, but it seems to me like this list might struggle a little on Never Tell Me, but I that's just a gut reaction. I don't have any
I
true thoughts.
don't
What do you think about that?
know. I mean, because you have like force jump on Anakin that gets you the movement. Ahsoka can jump twice, which gets you the movement. Yes, I mean the ARFs originally have their not covert operations,
Defensive
but
maneuver.
the defensive maneuver that can get them. So I mean, you have abilities to sit there and move them. It's not out of activation movement, but it does move characters as well. But then you do have wise counsel on Kiadi Mundi, so he can move stuff with out of activation movement. Then you also have I don't think the Padawans. Yeah, the Padawans don't move, but you can just take cover and move them. There is the Unity wins wars with Shock T. So I
Oh, they
think,
they have a dash. They have
yeah,
a
okay.
force rush dash. Yeah.
So there is movement there. There's additional movement on top of just a move action that pretty much all of them have. Yes, it might cost a force to do so, but you can really get. I think you can get the character, like your characters, your units into positions that you need to on this. It's not maybe not ideal, but there's play into that mission, I think.
All right. All right. Last question. I'm just interested here's your knee jerk reaction. So, do you think we will see a Kiati list make it into I don't even know what we're calling it. Is it the top 8? I'm trying to think of what worlds.
Top
It's gonna be
16.
a top 8, right? Oh,
It's going
top
to be top
16. You
16.
think we'll
So
see? That's right. So, what do you think?
I think I
You
think
think we'll
I
see
think
Kiati up there? Huh?
I don't know if we'll see him played into the top 16, but I think someone who is playing him in their premier list will make the top 16, no doubt.
All right, you heard it here first. We called it right now. Done.
I don't know if it's first, but yeah, I think someone will pilot him well enough to sit there and make the top 16. All right, so Liam, prove me right.
Yeah, no pressure, no pressure.
No pressure at all. But yeah, no, I mean, so that's, but basically, like I said, I think Kiati's a really fun unit. I think he's going to give a lot of play. But to close everything out, as always, I always want to thank all of our listeners for tuning in, listening to us, and the nonsense shenanigans that we'd like to talk about. If you do want to support us, by all means, you can definitely become a patron. That helps support us and helps us keep on doing what we're doing, helps us get to Adepticon and do the streaming that we do there and everything like that. So we do appreciate all of our patrons and all of the support that they give us. I also understand that that's not for everybody. If you do want to support us, you can always rate, review the podcast on whatever podcast platform you are listening to us on. Or if you're watching us on YouTube, you can like, subscribe, hit that bell so that you know every time that something new comes up and any new content that we have. So we do try and upload these every Wednesday when we upload our audio podcast as well. But other than that, again, thank you very much for listening. And as always, may the force be with you.
May the force be with you.